you all to Hamburg's Farm TV. My name is Oba Pasika. We are at Kaswa Asabaham. Yes, we are here to have a one-on-one interview with Mr. Solomon. He happens to be the owner of Albion Farm. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get interactive. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that quick commercial break. My name is still Oba Pasika. I'm here with Mr. Solomon Kujo. He happens to be the owner of Albion Farms. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, we thank God. We know you are into poultry farming, but for the sake of our viewers, we'd like you to walk us through what you do here.
Okay, basically, I think we produce eggs and sell. This is what we do here, and we have I can say other animals here like goats, ducks. Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been in this business?
We have a little catfish also that we do.
Wow. So it's a variety of many species. How long have you been into this business?
It's about 10 years plus.
10 years.
Yes.
And how has the journey been, like rough, smooth?
Very, very difficult. Yeah, especially for the past about 6 years now.
Why has it been difficult?
It's just because of the feed we use to, bring the animals up, and I think that is our challenge.
Has it become more expensive compared to the...
More expensive, about triple or more.
Why don't you produce it in Ghana? Why has it become that expensive?
It's produced in Ghana, but then it depends on the type of feed you want to use. Especially, we have varieties. There are other companies that produce the feed. Okay. One, we have Kujis, we have feed from Sankofa, from Tema, and then there's one at Sakaman. And then there are other ones, but those ones are not very nutritious. So you need to get the best. For instance, the ones from Kujis is the standard that I think the Hollandese are producing here. So that is what we use most of the time. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you said earlier that you've been in the business for 10 good years. 10 years. Did you start on your own, or you went into partnership with other people?
No. I've been on my own throughout, from the beginning up to now. Yeah, we started with piggery first. And then along the line we had some challenges. We had to break and then start with the birds. So since that time, that is what we have been doing. We do the layers most of the time, and then during the festive season we do broilers, just in a small quantity. Yeah, and then we sell them. Once we sell them off, we continue with the layers. Yeah.
And why did you choose to do this? What motivated you to go into poultry farming and other animal farming?
Number one, you see, in man's life, whatever, you see, there's a beginning and end. Number two, if you start life, you definitely have to come on retirement. You will grow, or when you are young, you become old. So I started planning this just for myself, so that anytime I come on retirement, I can have something that I can still continue with, so that I can still be living the way I live. Yeah.
You are talking about retirement. Are you into full-time poultry farming?
Currently, yes, because I am out of service now. I retired about 3 years ago, and this is what I've been doing since I came on retirement. And I've been here. I come here almost every day to supervise. I have a manager here, and then my son also assists me. Yeah, when I'm not here. Most of the time, when he comes around, I don't come here. Yeah.
How do you go about things here? Let's say there is an outbreak amongst the chicks, the hens. How do you manage yourself?
We have, let me say, veterinary officers who come in when we have any outbreak. But since we started, we have never had any outbreak before. Nothing of that sort, because we try as much as possible to fumigate or disinfect the area almost, let me say, every week. Yeah, that is what we do. So for outbreak, no. Yeah.
And I must say you are doing a very good job here.
We are trying our best. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and can you give us the number of hens you have here?
Currently, we have about we have old layers which are close to, let me see, about 3,500, and then we have another which is close to about 2,500, which will just start laying in the next 1 month. Yeah.
So in terms of the commercialization, you selling the chicks, giving them out, how is business going? Is it smooth? Does it go how you want it, or sometimes it doesn't go as planned and then you have to go for a plan B?
There are difficulties. For instance, currently there's no, the system is rough. So people buying the eggs is a little bit difficult. You have to manage them and then see if you can just cut even and then sell them out. So we've been trying to just manage the situation. Yeah.
Okay, and then what motivates you to keep going? I know at some time when you started, you felt like giving up, or it hasn't ever crossed your mind to ever give up?
It has never crossed my mind giving up, but let me say it's a passion. I love animals right from my youthful age. Yeah.
So you've never even had the idea of, okay, let's say I want to give up on this, venture into something else. That has never crossed your mind?
It has happened before. Just like I said, we started with pigs. And then along the line, we had some challenges, and then we had to stop and then start with the birds.
Can you please walk us through the challenges you encountered?
The challenges were transportation of feed to the sites here, and then the workers who were handling the piggery before. Yeah, this is where I had some challenges too. And at that time, I was still working, so I had to find a way to, reduce the stress coming onto me. So that is why I had to stop the piggery and then now go into the birds. Yeah.
When I walked in earlier, I saw people cleaning up eggs. I can see that you are very cautious about how you keep your things, and I was very impressed because mostly when you go to the market to buy eggs, you see the eggs all dirty with the hens, feces and all that, but I was so impressed to see that you actually make them clean the eggs thoroughly. I was quite impressed. I must say you are doing a very good job.
It's good to clean the eggs because when they drop the eggs, some of the birds are just like human beings. Some are, I don't know the word to use. If I have to use naughty, they can lay on the bare floor. Some will go into the laying box to lay there. The ones that go into the laying box, it doesn't get so much, dirt. So the one that drops on the floor, we try to clean it so that it will look very neat and presentable when we are selling. Yeah, the laying box, when they go in, it is better. And you can see that we have covered part of the laying box because if you don't do that, when it gets to the night, they will have to jump in there, go and sleep there, and then they will poo there, and then it creates a whole lot of but once it's covered, they know that when it's time for laying, they will have to go there and then come out. That is.
Okay, you started 10 years ago. Have you always had that knowledge about poultry farming, or at some point you had to go for consultation on how to go about things?
Because of the passion in the poultry I am into now. You see, the animals, I started it just like that because of the passion I had in the animals. I had friends who were veterinary officers who were, advising me how to go about it. And then I read from the, net and books. That is what has taken me up to this.
So you like researching more on what?
I do more research, yeah.
That's quite impressive. Okay, so you said earlier that some are laying, others are not. Do you keep them all together? How is it like here?
What is happening is that the ones that say they are laying and then the ones that are not laying, you see, we don't bring all the birds in at a go. Okay. When you start For instance, the old ones that are laying now, they were brought about a year ago. You have to bring in a backup so that when the laying is dropping, you can equally get another one to replace it before you sell out the old birds. Okay. This is what happens. Yeah.
Don't you run at a loss at any point?
Sometimes, especially when the laying drops, and you need to always try and then prevent that, because there are medications that you have to give them every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, just to keep their system very well. You have to give them antibiotics, vitamins, glucose, and then you deworm them as well. So this is what we do here, so that at least the business will be running and then the birds will be very strong and healthy. Yeah.
You know, sometimes in the here we hear the market women saying, "Oh, what causes that?"
You see, it's their system. When you don't treat them to have a very good system to lay, definitely the birds the laying will drop. This is what happens. Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes we don't have to blame the market women if they are not laying.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
And during that time, the eggs become quite expensive too.
That is when the farmers are not producing enough, eggs. Especially for some time now. Let me say about a year and two now. Most of the friends I have that had a poultry farm, most of them, they have just closed up. They have wound up. Their farms are empty without birds. Yeah.
Why is it so?
It's all about the cost of operation.
Does it cost to enter into poultry farm?
Yes.
It costs a lot.
Yes.
And you are still into it.
We are managing.
Is it that the benefit you are getting from it is so much that you can't let go, or you think something better and good will come out of it?
I think we have to hope for the best. So we are looking at what is ahead of us.
Okay. You said earlier that you are not just into poultry farming, you are into cattle, catfish.
Catfish.
Yes.
The goats and then ducks.
Are those ones too as big as the poultry farm?
No. They are just side. It's just by the way. We just keep those ones, the birds, and they want to. There are some people that demand for other rabbits. They demand for the catfish. Some demand for the goat meat. So that is what we do. I have some friends that by Christmas they will be calling you that, look, I need about 4 or 5 goats. So you have to prepare them and then go and give it to them. And then the catfish, once in a while, people will call you, I need about 4 kilos, 5 kilos, 10 kilos. People come here to buy. Yeah.
Okay. I've walked through the poultry farm and I realized you have the white ones, the brown ones. Can you tell us the difference? Are they local breeds or foreign breeds?
They are all foreign breeds. We bring the birds from outside, from Holland.
From outside?
We import all the birds.
Wow.
Yes. The white ones are different from the brown. The brown lay brown eggs, and then the white lay the white eggs. But the white ones, they are stronger than the brown ones. That is what I can say from the experience, or since I started keeping them. And then they lay also bigger than the brown ones. Yeah.
And importing from outside Ghana, don't you face any challenges? Doesn't it cost? Do you get your money at the end of the day?
Well, we try to break even. You see, the local archers, those who arch the local birds, sometimes if you are not lucky, or luck is not on your side, you go and buy the day old, the mortality rate is high. But the imported ones, at least when you bring them in, you know that they were taken care before it was brought in. And most of the time we don't have outbreaks, or the mortality rate is lower.
Meaning we are not doing a better job here.
I cannot say that. For that, I don't want to say that. Because,
you don't want to go to that side.
Exactly. Since I started, I've been importing my birds. That is what I know. But I know people do a lot of archery. If you go to the Mahinko and the Brongahafu region, I think there are a lot of people that do it. Even in Greater Accra, there are 1 or 2 people who do it here. But I don't buy from them.
Then we have to check ourselves and then do a better job. so that it will get to some point we'll have to be buying from our own, and then yes, because we can't always be importing from outside.
We can do that, but I think it's all cost. With the importation of the incubators, I don't know how they go about it, but I've been told that the breeding stock, where they get them from before they start laying here for hatching, I think that is where we have to look at.
Yeah. Looking back, would you say you've had any regrets ever since you started this?
No, I don't have regrets, but sometimes when the feed is rising or the cost of feed is getting too high, that is where sometimes it breaks you down. But still, this is what we want to do. That is why we are still in. Yeah.
Let me say, in 5 years' time, how do you see your farm?
First of all, we need to pray for life and strength.
Yes.
That is number one. And then going forward, I think in 5 years I'm looking at having my own maybe hatchery, and then number two, expanding the poultry. That is it.
Yeah. Let me take you back a bit. The name of your farm is Albion Farms. Tell us about the name Albion. Why that name?
Let me see. When I was very young, there was this truck from Britain.
Okay.
It's very, very, very strong. And looking at the truck, I realized that if I take that name, at least it will give me that strength to, operate this farm. So, as a matter of fact, it's an enterprise which I do. I have also been doing a little, barbering under that same name, Adron Enterprises. And then we also have a shop where we, sell the produce from the farm. Yeah. We don't sell the eggs here. Nobody buy eggs here. When we produce, we take everything out of the farm and then we go and then distribute it.
And is this your only job? Are you into full-time poultry farming, or you have other side hustles?
Currently, that is what I do as my full-time job. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, Mr. Solomon, there are many people planning on going into farming, but they don't have that kind of motivation. No one to motivate them to go into farming because it's not easy. Starting, definitely you face some challenges along the way and all that, you feel like giving up. You said you've never had any regrets. Maybe probably your regret is when there is rise in the feed, yes.
And then the medication.
Yes, exactly. What would be your advice to anyone out there wanting to come into poultry farming or farming in general?
I will encourage everyone who wants to go into farming, whether animal husbandry, these birds, or he wants to go into plantation or fish farming. The only thing I advise is that, number one, the land you want to use might be for you. Number two, do not go in for loans. If you can partner and you have a little percentage and the other friends can also, that's, I think I can advise for that. Or you start in your small way and then going forward you can be expanding. That is what I can say.
Okay, so never go for loans. Make sure the land is yours.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Solomon.
The structures are permanent structures, which is not like, for instance, a container that you'll be asked, oh, I want to put this here.
You can move it around.
Exactly. You can move them around so that at least if you're also putting up the structures, you put it in a way that in future, if you're no more in that poultry, you can convert it to another business. That is what I can say.
Thank you very much. I've learned a lot. Anytime I want to go into poultry farm, I'll make sure I come to you for more advice.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is where we come to the end of today's interview. I had with me Mr. Solomon Kujo. He happens to be the owner of Abion Farms, located at Asabaham on the Kaswa Road. See you guys next time. Till we meet again. It's a bye for now.